Hello, hello. Thank you for visiting me here at the Queen of Wands Tarot 333. I'm going to be reading for the sign of Capricorn. And I'll be doing a Celtic cross for this Mercury Retrograde. Oh, what is that? How are you guys doing this Mercury Retrograde? Feeling any bumps in the road? Any kind of blockages? I'm going to go ahead and do that prayer. Holy Divine Spirit, Universe, Guardian Angels, Spirit Guides, Higher Self, please give me clear and precise messages for the Capricorn that will help them onto their highest path. Oh my goodness, you did have a peeker. I knew you did. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle that back up just in case. Like the usual disclaimer about Mercury retrograde, definitely back up all of your computer device info data, phone data. Don't buy anything new or on wheels. Try not to start anything brand new until after, I believe, March 9th is the ending of that Mercury retrograde. But of course, there's that shadow period afterwards. Definitely continue on with things that you have been continuing on, but definitely be careful about new things coming your way. Maybe there could be somebody coming in from your past, possibly. People from your path showing up unexpectedly. Could be problems with communication. Definitely choose your words carefully during this period. If you have any kind of feelings about, maybe I shouldn't say that, or, or if you should say that, well, maybe you should refrain from saying such things, Maybe you should hold off, or at least be sure to be really empathetic with the words that is used, understanding. Have you been focusing on yourself a lot more lately? On your own goals and dreams? Putting yourself at the forefront for a change and kind of blocking out all of the distractions and noises. That's the best thing that you can do during this period. Is that a peeker? Flips right over. Emperor. That was the Emperor. I don't know did fall off onto the ground as a reversed. I'll keep it. Who knows? Maybe. We'll see if it comes back out. But I wanted to show you. Knight of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so currently your signifier is you. Someone's feeling defensive. This is that 9 of Clubs. And you're definitely defensive. This is war-torn, like a wounded warrior. You know, he's definitely bloodied and bruised from the battlefield. And he's on high alert, looking for any other kind of future and further attacks. Are you feeling defensive right now, Capricorn? Why? Why do you feel defensive? Because of this Queen of Swords. This is your immediate challenge. Your Queen of Swords. And it's someone that's crossing you. Could be an air sign. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Or it's someone who just carries that energy. Someone who is very logical. Someone who is kind of wounded and battered in life. You know, this energy is kind of like, can be indicative of like a divorcee, a widower, but somebody who had to be very strong and stand their ground and protect their kingdom and all of their other subjects that came along with it. Someone who can be very sharp with words as well. You know, can be very cut-the-road, that she has to think in black or white because she has a lot of decisions to be made. Maybe she's not at the forefront like a king would be, but she handles it in the background, and there are still very important decisions to be made, and this is a queen who stands on her own. You know, and she had to stand on her own and make those decisions for the best of herself and everyone around. Did you feel like you had to cut out a lot of people, places, and things at the moment in order to focus on yourself? Have you felt defensive because you felt that you did, or you were attacked for a while in many different things? Maybe a lot of people coming at you, expecting things, demanding things of you, not treating you and as they should, and showing you the respect that you need and you deserved. It's either you cut somebody out or somebody cut you out. But it's definitely crossing you. Definitely be careful with the words that you choose to say. Try to use compassion and empathy while you use it. And if you're unsure to say it, perhaps it's best to wait until you're able to actually really think about the situation or consequences or the best words to use. Or never try to communicate when you're angry, because that's when you get the Queen of Swords. She could be very cutthroat. She could use her words that cut like a knife. She doesn't mess around. She doesn't deal with any BS, because if she sees it, she's very logical and she has that precise vision. You can't hide or get anything over on her. So it's someone who needed to be defensive. And I guess that 9 of Wands, it definitely would be her energy, right? Defensive. Defensive after an ending. Defensive after a truth was given or acknowledged, and a need of having to cut that out and become defensive over something that was said to you, or something that you kind of unearthed. Maybe something revealed to you. The foundation, what's the causes of the situation, and your physical and emotional needs, plus your subconscious desires, is that you wanted balance in the situation. You wanted equal give and take. You wanted to be someone to be compassionate and empathetic to you as you are to them. God knows, Cappy, like, you sacrifice so much. And it seems like a lot of times you could feel like you're surrounded with people who just take and don't really give back. And now it's like that revelation and seeing things for what they were, and needing to pull back from the people, places, and things who kind of take you for granted. Because you need that give and take. Because at the moment, maybe you feel depleted for a long time. Maybe you felt like you were in a situation where, I don't know, everybody wanted what was in your cup, but nobody was willing to fill it back up. And all you wanted was equal balance, you know, someone to be charitable with you as you're charitable with them. Equal, fair give and take, fair balance. And you knew that it wasn't being fair. You knew that there was an imbalance, and you knew that it was depleting you, not only mentally but physically as well. And this is why you had to pull back. It's using your discernment. Now, what's behind you? Your creative talents and abilities as well. The Queen of Cups. The thing is, maybe you feel like a lot of people that are gravitated towards you kind of want to be part of that kind of loving energy, because you do give that loving energy. You're nurturing, you're empathetic, you know. And that was your energy that you gave out, and that's the energy that people kind of was able to sense and see, and a lot of times they came in to take advantage of that, because that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to nurture, but now not everybody else has that giving and loving and empathetic nature that you have, do they, Capricorn? It's like seeing the world and people that surround you, and environments and situations that surround you, and taking that blindfold off and seeing it for what it really is. You know, that there's some people out there that can be really dangerous and taking. In the past, it's like you gave so wholeheartedly, but after this kind of situation, no matter what situation that you came about, but you knew that it was depleting you, it wasn't fair, it wasn't equal, it wasn't balanced, and you gave wholeheartedly to this, to the point that it did deplete you. And if nothing else is filling up that cup, then you had to make a logical decision, and you had to cut it out. And that's what the beauty of Capricorn is, right? That you're very logical and grounded, and you have to be practical in the decisions that you make, even though initially You felt really heart-based in the situation. And you usually do when it comes to people that you really care about. Well, they say you're obsessed with working and things like that, but you know what? You know what it's really about? It's not only about money and power, it's about being able to really care for the people that you love, and that's what you do. But you didn't get that back. And that's why you had to become defensive. And you need to, because that's one of the life's lessons, I guess, of learning other people's nature and how not everybody sees the world as you see it. Not everybody has the best intentions for you as you have for them. And I guess it's a mistake to assume that they do, because a lot of times you could go in there heart open, wide-eyed, you know, and really like hopeful for the future. And then you give all you can to them, then you find out it's not reciprocated. So your goals and your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at the present is the Two of Cups. What is that? Soulmate union at the moment. And your goals is that you want that soulmate union. You want to meet your soulmate. You want to meet the person who you're meant to be. And the thing is, not everybody that you meet, because you go in so hopeful and trusting and loving, and a lot of times it ends up being the same kind of person. But you just wanted a loving union. But not everybody wants that. Sometimes they just want to take. And maybe that's what somebody did. They took. I mean, it looked like the foundation here is that maybe somebody was helping another person out financially. Maybe you were helping somebody else financially who really did need it at the time. Thinking that it was kind of an equal and loving relationship. But it just turned out that, you know, somebody is just kind of really just a really taking energy without giving anything in return. Kind of using any kind of situation possible to their benefit because they're down and out. What did they say about the crabs? The boiling crab who tries to get out of the pot? What happens when you surround yourself with people like that? Even when you try to get out, a lot of times they'll pull you back under. Even if you are trying to help them back out. But the thing is, when you try to help yourself and focus on yourself to get out of that pot with every intention of trying to pull somebody else out after you get on the top, you kind of learn somebody's true nature when they stop you from getting out. Because they were so sure that you were going to leave them out in the cold. Because of their mentality. And you went into this, or somebody did, but I'm assuming it's you, that you went into this with very good intentions. Possibly somebody else didn't. So your future, 6 of Cups in reverse. Oh, this is a soulmate union that didn't come together. It's a lack of a, and it seems like, a lack of coming together with a soulmate union. Maybe there was a grieving period over this time. I feel like there was a grieving period, and it took you a lot to get out of there, and it looked like you spent a lot of time reminiscing and thinking about the past, and you felt stuck for a really, really long time. And what is it that they say about people who constantly reminisce about the past? That it could definitely be a form of depression. Because what you want to do is focus on the here and now. And it looks like you're coming out of that. You're coming out of the grieving and thinking about the past situation. And now you're kind of pulling yourself out of that pot. And you're starting to think about your situation now. And putting thoughts and efforts into your goals, because this is something that held you back for a really, really long time. Not only dealing with the drama of this kind of person, but also dealing from the grief and the loss of it as well. But it was really grieving from the idea of who this person was, but not who they were really. Because they didn't turn out to be anything that you expected. It seems like you were hopeful and you were grieved for the idea of them and not who they really were. So how do you see yourself? 3 of Swords. You feel betrayed because someone was deceitful and someone didn't value you the way that you should, and God did you give to the point where you were just depleted. Because you knew that he did have such a strong connection as soulmate energy, or he or she. But now you do feel betrayed. And although you're no longer reminiscing about this past, you're slowly coming out of it. You're still trying to shake off the idea of the betrayal and move forward from it. But that's the thing with Capricorns, right? Even if you are able to forgive, you never forget. You never forget. And that's important, to forgive, but never forget. It's like if people show you who they are, believe them. So your environment, your home, your surroundings, family, loves, and friends, and work. Things that are outside of yourself and how others perceive you. 7 of Clubs in reverse. So others perceive you like you're down and out, and you're you gave up fighting for the situation. You gave up fighting for it. You no longer want to be victorious in the situation. It just became such a huge burden, and you gave so much, and it's like, I don't even want to fight for this anymore. I don't care if I want to win or stay victorious. I don't care. I'm not going to win in this situation. And it's too much work to stay on top of it. I don't feel like I was victorious in the situation. And I don't feel victorious out of the situation, but at least I don't have to fight anymore, for the respect that you deserve, right? And you do deserve that respect, especially for the people that you put yourself out for. Right? So your hopes and fears of attaining your goal, the lesson to be learned, things blocking your development. So that's the moon in reverse. So things are coming into light. So your hopes and fears in the moon in reverse, so you just don't want to be kept in the dark. Maybe you want some clarity of the situation, why it happened. And even though you're not reminiscing anymore and you didn't feel like you got that closure, or maybe you did. Maybe you did get some of that closure, and maybe you had a revelation that something came out into the open. A secret came out into the open and kind of made you see what was hidden, either from yourself, that it was like a self-denial, or someone that was actively keeping secrets from you. But this is, it's coming out. Anything hidden is being come into light and is known. And you hope and fear it. You hope for it possibly because you want, I mean, I feel like you could, because, you know, you want to be able to move on from it. And if you know completely what it is, you won't have to wonder about it. If it was another situation, what he was thinking. Or maybe you fear it as well, because maybe whatever that is unearthed will either stop you from moving on or kind of make you fully give up that dream, that idea of what you thought it was. And the lesson learned, things that are blocking your development, is keeping people around who keep secrets and to throw you off balance, and who is not clear with you. Maybe, like, I feel like somebody is like, he seems very mysterious. This person seemed very mysterious initially. Maybe he didn't really talk all that much. Or maybe he did, but it wasn't anything in, like, as in, like, really deep, because all of that was hidden from you. Lying by omission is still lying, right? But it's now understanding that whatever that you didn't know, it really doesn't matter, because it's like you're coming out of this and you're not allowing this to keep you prisoner anymore. Regardless if you had the closure that you needed. That now you're getting to the point that you're starting to see this person for what they were, and no matter what was hidden, it really doesn't matter, because you remember the way that this person made you feel. The reasoning behind it, it really doesn't matter, except to the point that this person has the inability to really care and support you the way that you cared and supported them or him. It could be a lot of people. You know, it's like you give so freaking much and you work so hard, and everyone's quick to, like, pick up that phone and ask you, I need this, I need that. And it's like you're struggling, and when you struggle, and every time you did, none of those people were ever around. And maybe that was the hope of meeting people like this, or meeting someone new that you're like, finally, maybe I don't have to work so hard in order to feel loved. Or feel like you have to work so hard in order for someone to love you. And maybe that was the revelation too. It's like an overgiving, and it looks like a pattern in your life. It's not only about one person. It's about pretty much a lot of the situations that you have around. How you would give and give and give. But maybe you're coming to the point where like, you're starting to see why you're doing that, or the reasonings is maybe because deep down you feel like you don't really deserved. You've never really deserved that love. And that makes you kind of overfunction to kind of feel like you do. But you do deserve it, Cappy. You're amazing and you're beautiful and you're giving and you're abundant. Even if you feel down and out right now and you don't feel victorious and whatever came up, it just left you feeling at a loss, it's time to pick yourself up. It's time to focus on you now. And if they were unworthy, you deserve to be loved. And you don't have to overfunction and overwork to get it. And that's important to remember. Damn it, Cappy, what's going on? I know this feeling. I do. Things that I'm coming up with in my life. What's your outcome in Knight of Swords? So somebody is going to come in with communication, a message, a revelation, or a truth. It's definitely action and of communication. And that which you'll gain from this experience, the outcome, the gain, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough. It's that Knight of Swords. Is that now you could speak your truth, and now you could see that truth. Now maybe somebody else is going to be speaking truth to you. It's because now you find your own inner truth. And it's like these people that were like tethered to you. Just kind of taking, it's like now you're seeing like who they really were and what's the best way you could move forward from this, by dusting off all of the leeches. And that's what they are, they're leeches. Because somebody's going to come in with that communication. Maybe somebody wants to come in to, you know, explain things because you did stand in your power and you cut this person off. And now he wants to come in with a message to explain things, but it's really immature. It's not anything that's going to be big, you know. And it's not going to be like, it's an immature message. Something that's really quick that comes in and quick that comes out, you know. And it's going to be like that, what is that, like that white flag. Hey, can we still be friends? Whatever, I don't know. But it's going to, whatever this message that's going to come about, or that came about already, possibly, if it didn't already happen. I mean, it's going to leave you really confused. It's going to start, it's like you were getting out of it and this pulls you right back in. You know, like that Godfather scene is like, every time I try to leave, they pull me back in. And then what comes out of it is like, now you're confused. You're confused. And that's what these Nine of Cups is. These are like, you know, things that, these are daydreams, wishes. It's like all of these illusions from the past, or these hopes from the past. It started to come up again, and it's like, or this somebody comes up and tries to kind of weave their web of illusions. But what do you got? It's a lack of clarity as well. It's like somebody is going to come in, bottom of the deck, and want to offer possibly a commitment. But what is it based off of? Nine of Cups, fantasy, daydreams, and the Ace of Swords in reverse. It's lack of honesty, clarity, and truth. Lies, lack of communication. Even if they do offer a commitment, don't take it. Don't take it. Because it's full of crap. And you know what? This is Mercury retrograde. Jesus. If anyone comes in during Mercury retrograde, you know, I think mainly it's like a chance for you to kind of get closure. And maybe that was a thing that would be able to push you out of this feeling betrayed. Because it's not going to stop you from feeling betrayed, but maybe now you can kind of come to terms with it and move on from it. Because this is what it's like with as in a relationship or a job or kind of an institution. And maybe this isn't even, it doesn't even have to be a relationship. Maybe it was a job, you know, a work situation or a relationship. It could be either or, you know, and it's like, you put so much into it, but then you felt unfulfilled because it wasn't giving back to you as much as you were putting in. And that was that feeling of lack and emptiness. And even if it does come around again, to kind of wave that white flag, this is what they have to offer. And it's BS. Because you know what's fulfilling. And this situation, job, person was not fulfilling whatsoever. At all. Hey! Hey! Leo! Sorry. My dog and cat. My cat can be such a jerk sometimes. Let's see. Man, this Mercury retrograde, it's crazy. It's like once you don't really believe in this whole astrology things and you kind of find out the meanings or at least the tone that it'll play, and then you're like, holy crap. Like I actually just got a communication recently from a situation that was, you know, not at all uncommon than this. And it seems like a lot of person during this period were dealing with somebody like this. It was like this, you know, setting up the stage in order for Mercury retrograde kind of like return. I don't know. But maybe that's like an alignment, like a universal alignment, that you would meet this karmic ass people so you can have that new revelation and superpower. So somebody might be coming in not only with a message, but also with a gift, saying that they want to be fair and give that equal give and take. But it's going to throw you off, and it's going to make you feel a certain kind of way, possibly even pissed. Part of your kind of advice is to stay poised and graceful within the situation. Do not go off on this person. Choose your words carefully. Because in the end, we all have to be accountable for the situations that we find ourselves in. It's never just that one person. It's always about the decisions that we make as well. I'm not victimizing the victim here at all. But it's like realizing, was there things that, or signs or red flags that I could have seen that kind of warned me of this situation or this kind of person in the past? Because look, all that glitters is not gold. And be defensive if you need to. Be really discerning into the kind of messages that you'll get, and to know, don't listen to what they say, listen to what they do. And not only for a single period, but for the long run. Because this is something that's like cyclic, it's karmic, you know? It's like you could play the same game with the same kind of energies, and it'll kind of just bring you back to the same fights and same bullshit and the same like immaturity, you know? And it's not worth your time, Cappy. You got bigger things to take care of, and number one is you. Your goals, your dreams, because it looks like you put a lot of what you wanted to do on the back burner because of this person or this job or this situation that took way too much from you. So a message is coming, but before you make any kind of decisions, definitely take the break that you need. You know, get enough rest and don't make any hasty decisions. After this message, think about it over time and take all the time that you need, because, you know, somebody is really good at spinning like fantasies. Because don't let this message throw you off. Take time, take rest, don't overwork yourself, don't make any hasty decisions. Take your time to grieve and rest when you need it, so you can listen to your intuition if you've been working yourself to the bone and too much and kind of like running the wheels kind of on full blast. It's like, yeah, you know, you're running around a lot and you're doing a whole lot, but how much are you really getting accomplished? And when you run around to the point that you're depleted, it really cuts you off from your own intuition and your deeper knowing. I do feel like this was a karmic situation. If it's on a person, then it's definitely a job, or maybe it's both. Maybe this has been a pattern in every kind of environment, different environment in your life. And now it's time for you to look within yourself and start listening to your intuition more, because perhaps maybe you were cut off from it for a while, dealing with so many takers in your life. But I think you have a lot of beautiful things coming up, as long as you take time to focus and put your energy onto the things that will nourish and feed you, not only about tangibly, but also spiritually and emotionally and physically as well. Because God knows. Leave it up to these people and look what they did to you. You know, take your time, cut these people off. Really think about what's the most important thing that you need to do in order to achieve your life goals and your highest path. No more looking back on people, places, and things that just take from you. So you can go on to something beautiful, and you will, as long as you put the energy where it should. I'm curious about what would be for the... What do you have coming after this Mercury retrograde? I'm just curious. What do you have coming after this Mercury retrograde? What do you have to look forward to and looking for after this Mercury retrograde? Let's see. Oh my God. The same thing. Okay. You're trying to see things in all perspectives. You know, right now you kind of feel like everything's at a standstill. But don't let that stress you out, because what does anxiety do? It just makes you keep on something to do, but it doesn't get anything done, right? Right now you do feel stuck, but it's needed in order for you to see things in a new perspective in general. See things differently. It's not only about the situation or the crappy situation, but don't look at it in the negative. Look at it as what it is that you learn from it, and how did it kind of like push you into the path that you needed. Because it gave you strength. It gave you strength, and continue to have that strength even though you feel stuck right now. Because you know what, baby? You're the Queen of Wands. That's what you are. You're magical. You're intuitive. And in the future, you're going to be standing in your power. You know, you will. And you're going to get that creative spark, because it looks like you have something beautiful that you've been wanting to do, but you've been stuck into doing it. And now maybe this is that thing that pushes you into doing it. And to have the strength to be like, to have the determination into it. Knight of Cups. You have this passion that you're going for something. And then maybe somebody is going to come and give you an offer. Or you want to give somebody an offer. But before any offers are given or taken, you want to go into yourself. Nourish yourself, love yourself, communicate with yourself and the divine. Find those deeper hidden knowledges that you feel that's been kind of blocked off to you. Why? Because you have a wish. You have a beautiful wish that's just waiting to manifest. And it's like the universe is kind of getting you ready and preparing you in order for you to kind of receive it. And it's giving you the strength to go for it. Go for it, Cappy. There's something big going on, but it's really determining about the energy that you put into it. But don't be hasty during this Mercury retrograde. Give yourself some time, but don't take too much time. You gotta work, like that Rihanna song. You got this, Cappy. Love you. And if this reading was helpful, please Please like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to donate to the channel. There will be a link below for good karma points. Much love to you. Bye. Blessed be.